Jeff Zoller. I'm from upstate New York, and I've been wearing hearing aids for about 3 years. Well, I had gone to some audiologists. I just really didn't think I was a candidate. I was kind of faking it and guessing what people were saying, and it wasn't working. I got the Lexie hearing aids. Well, it's been night and day. Conversations at the family dinner table, watching a movie that I don't have to put on the subtitles for anymore. I get emotional sometimes because you really, if you're missing something and it comes back and you didn't think it was going to come back, that's a gift. And my kids are happier than I am that we were able to discover that again.
I love his story.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, welcome on in. We have an entire hour with Brett Hamilton, and one of what Time Magazine has called one of the most influential brands, because in the most recent years that you could get hearing aids, right, what we say like over the counter, what Lexie B2 powered by Bose has done is truly life-changing. And that's, we don't say that about everything we sell here at QVC. Yeah. I may love my Dennis Basso outfit today.
Change your life different, in a different way.
Life-changing, maybe not. Do I love it? Of course. Yeah. But when you can hear, if you've experienced mild to moderate hearing loss, this is the hour to really lean in. Whether you've worn a hearing aid and you've been frustrated, or this might be your very first. We have a big deal price on a Lexie B2 rechargeable hearing aid that's been powered by Bose. It's the lowest price that we have been. And what we're able to offer you is not only the rechargeable hearing aids, the storage case, but essentially you get your entire kit. You're getting 2 medium-sized cables to charge, your open and closed domes in 3 different sizes, your storage case, your USB-C cable to charge, your fitting cord. You also get a care kit that's gonna have 4 cleaning domes and 12 additional cleaning domes, all included. So you get the best life, best maintenance out of your Lexie B2 purchase. Now, if you were to buy this separately, it's over $1,000. Right now, we're able to offer you a big deal price, the lowest price that we've offered, under $800. 5 easy payments of $160. And knowing what it was like to live in a house with my dad, who cranked up the TV so loud that, we laugh about it now. But looking back, it was all those early signs that he was experiencing at that time, mild to moderate hearing loss. This truly is the answer for so many people that is, Brett, life-changing.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the hearing aids, and I think Jeff mentioned it at the beginning there in that video, they're not just for the person wearing them. They affect everybody around them, because if your dad can't hear, and my stepfather in the same boat, my father as well, when you're constantly repeating yourself for that person, or they're constantly turning up the TV to the point where it's just uncomfortable and nobody else can sit in the room with them because it's so loud. And then just the day-to-day stuff. When you think about somebody that that can't hear that well, they turn into this person. They just kind of, they're off to the side and they're just kind of nodding and smiling politely. And in the beginning you go, what's wrong with Uncle Bernie or whatever it might be? And you're like, I know what's wrong with him, he can't hear. Yeah. And he's embarrassed. And you get tired as the person that can't hear saying, one more time, just what crowded restaurant to the waitress, one more time. Right. To the point where you just check out. And that's no way to spend the rest of your life. And we always make it sound like it's somebody that might be older. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s or older or whatever. Plenty of young people that as time goes on, maybe because of their job, their lifestyle, whatever it might be, that needs some help. So what we're talking about today are the first FDA-cleared direct-to-consumer hearing aids. These are developed for adults 18 years and older with perceived mild to moderate, you'll hear us talk about that throughout the hour, mild to moderate hearing impairment. We're going to pair them with a revolutionary Lexie hearing app so that you guys can fit, you can program, and control your B2 hearing aids from Lexie, powered by Bose, for clinically proven audiologist-quality customization. And here's the best part, everybody. No doctor visit, no hearing test, no prescription. You're going to do this yourself in the real world environments using an app that I'll show you in a second. These were developed by a team of Bose scientists, audiologists, and engineers who took decades of experience to create the first. These guys were first and the best FDA-cleared direct-to-consumer hearing aids. Now, keep in mind, these are meant to improve hearing quality. You're not listening to your favorite music through them. You're not watching videos on these. These are hearing aids. And speech that once sounded mumbled, clearer, softer voices now easier to understand. And you look at that graphic right there, Allie, and that tells you the story in a nutshell. This is mild to moderate, not profound or severe.
Right.
If
Okay.
if you've got a severe hearing problem, you go see a doctor and try to figure out what's going on. But those two below there on the left-hand side, good indicators to know whether or not you need help. If you're in a crowded room, everybody else can understand what that person is saying, and you're just like, ah, man, why can they understand and I can't? And certainly we all know somebody that's had trouble understanding the TV, and they crank it up, they make it louder, and all they're doing is turning up the noise.
Well, and here's the deal. If you are experiencing that mild to moderate, don't wait until it's too late. Like as time goes on, my dad sat in so many doctor's appointments because he could go by himself, right? He was capable of like driving to the office, managing his appointments, except the problem was because he was experiencing mild to moderate hearing loss, there was a lot of information that he wasn't getting, that he was missing. And because he was there by himself, there wasn't anybody there to say, oh, but wait, didn't you hear this? And don't you remember that? This is truly about empowering yourself. And here's what we want to do today on QVC, is empower you to get it right at home. Just like Brett said, you don't have to go to the office, you don't have to get it fitted, you don't have to even get the sound adjusted. You're gonna be able to do it all. Brett's gonna show you. They're wildly easy, because that's the beauty of Lexie. I mean, why USA Today has said that Lexie B2 by Bose is one of the easiest, one of the best over-the-counter hearing aid brands that you can get. I mean, this used to be unheard of. Hearing aids over the counter, we're doing it to you at a big deal price. There's no shipping and handling. So you've got a few options. On any major credit card, it could be $160, 5 months paid, done. We don't charge you an extra fee to do that. We don't up it an extra percentage. It's the same as if you were to buy it all in one fell swoop. We just break it apart in 5 easy payments. Same goes for 12-month special financing. Now, you do that on a QVC credit card. There's no additional interest if paid in full in the 12 months, and your monthly payment ends up being just under $67 a month. So could you do that for someone else in your life, right? That maybe they're not ready to get it, but you know it's time. Could you get it for them and do the $67 a month? Let's talk a little bit about Lexie and how they work.
Yeah, so the whole idea behind over-the-counter hearing aids is what we've just talked about, not having to go to the audiologist. And for many...
I have them on, too.
Yeah, before I go any further, this is probably the most compelling demonstration we can show you, the fact that you can't see them. You know, unless you're right on top of that person, unless you're staring at their ear.
And even, I mean, most of the time, if my hair's like, there's no way, you don't see anything, right? I'm showing you because I want you to see I have them on, right? So I may pull my hair back, but that's how subtle and discreet they are.
Yeah, and Allie has them on the proper way. The hearing aid, now we'll get to this in depth in a little bit, goes as far behind the ear as possible. Doesn't sit on top, goes behind. The reason being is that there are microphones and obviously the speaker, which is in your ear canal. If they're too close to each other, you don't want that squealing noise, like if you held a mic up in front of a speaker, like a PA system, whatever it might be. But let's go back to the fact that hearing aids traditionally cost $5,000, $6,000. We bought my stepfather, before we got him these, years ago, $5,500, I want to say, for a pair of hearing aids that he wore for 6 months and gave up on them.
Wow.
They weren't doing the trick, because if you think about it, you go to a doctor's office, you sit there, you take the hearing test, the beep, boop, beep, all that stuff, and he gets it to where they need to be.
Right.
But you're in a controlled environment. You're in a crowded, or you're not in a crowded restaurant or a noisy party or whatever it might be.
Right.
And then you go out into the real world and you're like, wait a minute, I wish I could. You wish you could adjust them. And now you're going to be able to. So before I get to all of that, I just want to show you this video, this features video, because there's so much tech that's packed into these that you don't need to know anything about. But I want to brag for a second. This is what makes Bose and Lexie such an incredible combination, such a powerhouse when it comes to this. First of all, you can actually listen to your phone calls now through the hearing aid. And I think you're the one, no, maybe it was Amy telling me that she couldn't talk to her dad on the phone anymore.
Oh, yeah, my dad,
oh, it was your dad.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
Or at a restaurant.
Yeah, you've got these 3 sizes in 2 different types of domes we'll talk about as well that play a big part. But most important part about what I'm showing you right now is that these are rechargeable, right? Rechargeable means there is no cost to use these after you get them home and you pay for them. You get lifetime customer support for free, which is gigantic. They connect to an app on your phone or your tablet, and that's how you will control your environment around you. One of the really cool features that I'll show you in a second in real time on the app is this world mode. You can isolate the sounds around you, so instead of hearing the entire restaurant, Valley and I are sitting across from each other and I just want to hear her. Now, again, it's going to suppress that sound. It's not going to completely mute it, but you've got almost like a bionic upper hand there that you wouldn't have if you weren't wearing them. So what does it all translate to? an experience that allows everybody that has these to use them and fit them and fine-tune them to your own personal needs, because one size does not fit all when it comes to hearing. I'm not talking about the physical size. These will fit all.
We have different adapters so that they do fit, but
They
you're right,
will.
like your hearing needs.
Your hearing needs, yeah. And the app itself does some pretty incredible stuff, and I'm leading up to that. But before I show you how we do the magic trick, I want to give you an example of the magic. So what this is about to show you is 3 very common scenarios that you may experience. What the world may sound like right now for you, and what it could sound like thanks to Lexie and Bose. Watch this.
At the end of their long journey, our colony of penguin chicks have reached the ocean. They peer over the edge, waiting for the right moment, anticipating the dangers that await. Until finally, one of them jumps.
Hey, honey, do you hear that?
It sounds like a pair of cardinals.
Where are they? I hear them, but I don't see them.
Oh, I think they're coming from...
Looking for our beer specials? So
Tonight, in addition to our usual lineup of IPAs, we've got some great
there's a pale ale from one of our home
brewers. It's very crisp and citrusy, if that's what you're into.
First of all, I love the scenarios that paints, because Brett, I think these are usually the moments of the first signs, right? When you're noticing there must be some mild to moderate hearing loss. It's watching television. It's in a restaurant where there's a lot of other noise going on.
A lot of ambient room noise just bouncing off the ceiling. And
My dad was, he was an Army helicopter pilot. He was a commercial airline pilot for his entire career. It was pretty soon we started noticing the changes in behaviors, or we'd go out to restaurants and he was like a little disconnected sometimes because he couldn't hear, right? It wasn't enjoyable. He didn't want to do the things that he loved anymore as a family. So that's when we say this is truly life-changing. It really is. Because listen, if it's difficult to communicate with someone and to hear them, it's probably really frustrating. This is so freeing, whether you're buying it for yourself today or buying it for someone you love. We've got a big deal price, the lowest price that we've been able to offer you at $799.98. They should be over $1,000. And it really is, whether it's USA Today, whether it's Time, are really giving Lexie accolades, customer loved. So let's talk about, we kind of saw the difference, right?
Or heard the difference.
Heard the difference,
Yep.
yeah. Let's mention, because you mentioned different people having different needs.
Yeah,
how do we adjust it?
Yeah, and that was my attempt at humor with one size does not fit all. I mean, obviously they will fit you physically, but you can't hand the same 10 hearing aids to 10 different people and expect the experience to be the same, or can you? You can, because watch this. So this is me pulling back the curtain and showing you how we just did the trick, right? The magician does it, and you always want to know how. Was I able to hear in a restaurant that I couldn't hear in before? How was I able to all of a sudden understand, not just hear the TV, but understand the dialogue? How was I able to hear grandkids that are talking at this volume? Or, and your world sounds like this and you want to clean it up? Here's the answer right here. This app will work on any phone, Apple or Android. I'm showing it on a tablet because it's just a bigger screen for TV and it looks cooler. Let's think about this experience like your car radio. You get in the car and the first thing you do, obviously after you turn it on, is turn up the volume. That's what your world volume is. And you want to do this first because this is kind of your starting point. And I recommend like sitting in front of the TV or having somebody talk to you the entire time, and put the TV at a volume that's considered quote unquote normal, not what you need where it's blaring and everybody walks out of the room. So get the volume to where you can hear the TV. Then, as I was just trying to mention, talking about the muddy world, you can hear stuff, but you can't really hear it, and you want to clean it up a little bit. That's your treble. Just like on a car radio, Allie. But if your world is really and everything is tinty, and you need a little bit of bottom end, you need a little low end, you need a little bass, then bring it down here. There's no right or wrong. This is where I was talking about.
It's just what you need.
Yeah. But again, if you had these fitted, with an audiologist and they were like, okay, well, you hear all those tones and you hear all those sounds and you hear me okay, but then you go out to that noisy restaurant and you're like, man, I wish I had a little bit more treble. Now you can do that. All right.
So can I adjust this in the moment?
You can, in fact.
Right? Like if based on a different environment, you might have different needs.
Well, and that's really what it's all about. Each time you go to a new place, a new time, a new location, whatever it might be, forget the tablet, it's going to be on here. It's going to be on the phone. So you pull this out of your bag, your purse, your pocket, or whatever.